Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Ys VIII, Lacrimosa of Dana, Inferno walkthrough. We are now going to be going on the Nameless coast, and we're going to be bumping into a prehistoric boss coming up, so I look forward to that. But in the last video, I was spamming one of my skills against the boss to try and level it up, so I need to discuss to the people that might not be completely clued into how this works. So, the general gameplay loop of Ys is that you attack enemies and you build up that blue bar on the bottom right that's around the steering wheel thing. The boat steerer. And every time you use a skill, you use that resource. So if you're used to fighting games, it's like building meter and then using an EX move. The skills that you can use generally have good damage, decent break, or decent stun. Each of them specialise in a different area, enabling you to tailor your character to your playstyle or to the boss that you're fighting, or to the enemy that you're trying to vanquish. And the more you use a skill, the more it levels up. And it does get some benefits from leveling up, but I'm not entirely certain what those benefits are, because once again, when you search these things, you don't really find the information you want. You find a bunch of people talking about like best places to farm skills and stuff. So there's obviously benefits to leveling them up, and you want to do this just by virtue of using them. The real cool thing though here, guys, is because we're playing on Inferno, traditionally most enemies are going to be a higher level than me. It can borderline go from competent to absolutely ridiculous, but in this game, to get new abilities, you get them almost randomly by attacking enemies that are a higher level than you. And when you use skills against stronger foes to a certain amount, you will then spark these opportunities to learn new skills. And once again, this is another system that has quite a decent amount of ambiguity to it. But what it really boils down to is whenever you come up against something that's a higher level than you, try to spam your skills against it, and there's a chance that you might get something new. And the reason I say this is not only do the skills rack up really quick damage, really quick stun, and really good break, depending on the ones you use, but we want to get certain skills as soon as physically possible, because they're just going to pay dividends in the long run of the run. At the beginning, it doesn't matter too much, unless you have something that you really, really want, but for me, all I want with Adol is Force Edge. Force Edge is a move that we're going to be learning later on, but I'm constantly going to be working towards it right now in the hopes of getting it early. Because you might get fortunate and spark an ability and get it early, or you might never get it because you don't use it enough. It can be that kind of divider. But there are a few enemies in this game that are astronomically higher level than you are, and just by saving before them and wailing on them a little bit can be a really good opportunity to get some early skills. I'm going to showcase this later on with the Velociraptor, and I'm going to get a few skills for a guy I call Salad, who is called Sahad. But moving down this beach, you're going to notice that the enemies in these environments are quite clustered together. There are some places where the enemy variety and the enemy selection is quite graceful. There are other places where it's quite hectic, and you just want to be as careful as you physically can to not get sloppily hit. At this moment in the game, by jumping, dashing in the air, and pressing attack, you can do a downward stab as Adol, which will stun almost most of these enemies in these first few areas, But you need to be careful, because later on, like in literally the next zone in the next video, the enemies are going to have the ability to armor through that move, and it's going to be nowhere near as effective. So, at the beginning you might have noticed, I led a lot of my engagements by doing the jumping stab. I'm not going to do that too much after a point. Also, just to reiterate, right now, guys, at any moment in this environment, if you pause it and save, you will save the state where you are in the world, but it will refresh all the enemies if you die and reload. This is really, really useful in the dungeons, because the dungeons don't have conventional checkpoints. In a dungeon, unless you touch a crystal or get to a boss, you will go to the very beginning of the dungeon every time you die. The one way to alleviate this, to make it less stressful for people struggling, is to save. Saving completely circumvents using that system, and it's a really, really good tip to help you ease your frustration. My first run on this game, on Inferno, was absolutely brutal. It was very tedious, very frustrating in a lot of ways, and it absolutely destroyed me. I will not be making the same mistakes I made that first time, and the lessons that I learned by those mistakes are going to hopefully help you have an easier time with the game. But through here is the boss. He's called Avalodragil, I have no idea why. But we also have a new character in our party now. He's called Sahad, and he is the third of the damage types. So we have slashing for Adol, we have piercing for Laxia, and now we have, is it blunt or smashing for Sahad. And Sahad is incredibly powerful at this point in the game as well. So you're going to notice my strategy here is very simple. I'm going to wait for him to do an attack, I'm going to dodge into it to get the flash move, and then I'm going to stack flash guard afterwards by guarding as I land. If I do this successfully, it gives me the opportunity to unleash a whole bunch of the skill into his face. The skill that I'm using there is the B skill. I forget the name of it, but it's my favourite skill as this character, because early on it's going to be very fast, very damaging, and very spammable. So that's just what we're going to be doing here. And once you get him to a decent amount of HP, you can use your extra skill, which is what I'm doing right now, to finish him off. Because Sahad is so strong at the very beginning, I could have used this skill when the boss had maybe hit half HP, and it would have killed, because it does so much damage. So you don't have to save it as late as I did, I just got carried away smashing its face. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.